Dare Rising, as they'll join us by audio only for our interview. Actually, not corrected. We have picture.
Hey!
Yes, we do. Hey, Aggressor.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us. And Meadowhawk looking sharp as ever, rocking that nice 07 jersey. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. That's all we get out of you?
Pretty good. I mean, I'd say you probably couldn't see Aggressor because his nose was blocking the camera, but that
Oh boy,
might be a bit
Brutal.
I give you that one, man. Every now and then you get a good one, dude. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
right.
I got to start the season off strong. It goes all downhill from here.
Yeah, I got you, man.
All right, Meadowhawk, well, we're talking to you already. Roster changes. Me and Randall just talked about it a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and walk us through from your end why you guys made the changes and what you expect out of them?
Well, we knew we were facing Dare Rising first, so we had to outmatch them with number of Russians on our team. So Arklit got a bunch of his buddies together. We picked up FC Dynamo and Kolzoid. They've been good. I mean, it's great because Foster was concerned at the talent pool left in kind of NA, and it really gets even smaller once you get with Gold League experience. And so these guys both have Gold League experience over in RU. And so even though we're having a little communication issues, they know where to go and where to be and how to play their positions. So we don't have to micromanage them like we would someone who's new to the league.
Yep, absolutely. And then Aggressor, I talked to Dirge a little bit earlier, and he said that you guys think you've kind of solved your comm issues, moving some people around. Heard that you're going to be calling now as well. So kind of walk us through your offseason, because you also made a roster change as well.
Yes, we picked up Dark Ninja from AM60s, and he's basically going to fill a bad chat role for us. We got rid of Chase, and Dark Ninja's going to basically be playing that spot, and I'm going to be calling, and Putin's going to be playing what I was playing. He was going to be kind of like the solo independent player.
So everything changed.
Everything changed, yeah.
Sweet.
But we've been doing pretty good in practice, so I'm looking forward to tonight.
Yep. So me and Randall were sitting here talking before you guys joined us about how sometimes just making a few little changes, no dramatic, whole rosters being swapped is a good thing. Do you think that just these subtle little changes of who's playing which position and one minor roster, well, I don't want to say call it Dark Ninja minor, but one roster change is relatively small compared to what some other teams have made. Do you feel that that's enough what you guys need to do to succeed?
I mean, it's all about team synergy in a way. So having the team together still, but in different positions, I think will help out a lot. But 07 picked up like 3 players and stuff. Like that's a lot of extra people that they have to learn how to play with in such a short period of time. We really didn't have to worry about that. We already knew what we were going to do and stuff. We just had to work on how to play like a new spot now and then.
Right, fair enough. All right, Meadowhawk, just one last question for you, I guess, which is to address the same thing that Aggressor just brought up. 3 new people in your team. Do you guys feel that you already will have the synergy on match day 1, or do you think it's going to be a little bit rust?
It'll be a bit of a learning curve. Obviously, 07 has always kind of been a casual team that can compete. And because of that, we have a lot of people who need to leave because of work or school. I mean, we've had major issues out fighting fires in BC for the past 2 months. So he's literally just back this week. So he hasn't scrum at all. We lost Commodore to a master's degree. He's got to do his schooling. So that's why we swapped him out for one of the Russian guys. But the biggest thing right now, it's the play is there, but the biggest thing is communication. Because right now we have 4 people who speak Russian. Only 2 of those speak English. So we need to kind of foster calls, and then the translations have to go through Warband or Arklit as to what's going on. But it's getting smoother and smoother the more we scrim.
So is the team going to be learning Russian, or are the Russians going to be learning English?
Andy is already learning key phrases badly, but I think there's enough. A lot of the phrases are very similar and repetitive, and so everyone just learns them, and it comes second nature after a while, I think.
Do you have an example, maybe? A little lesson for us? Come on.
An example of Andy? No. I think the one he was pasteur or something like that. I don't know. Andy's choosing really weird words that he hears repeated on a frequent basis during scrims, and they're always like, they mean nothing really important, which is kind of funny.
All right.
Okay.
I think that about covers it. Meadowhawk, any final words for Aggressor?
Good luck and have fun. It's always the good matches between us, so it should be another good one.
All right, Aggressor, any final words?
Good luck, Meadowhawk. Let's see who wins, man.
All right.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the battlefield.
See you later.
I love having them on.
Oh, yeah. No, just the great banter back and forth.
Well, just
solid
the two of
answers.
them. I love Aggressor. He's fun to hang out with. And then Meadow, too. Meadow is I could listen to him talk for hours.
Yeah, no, I went to a hockey game with him when he was out here for the grand finals, and you never stop laughing with that guy. It's just so many entertaining stories the whole time. Yeah. Just one of those guys you can just go sit at a pub with, for example, and just sit there and drink and laugh and have fun.
In scuba equipment?
Yeah, scuba equipment or whatever else he decides to show up in.
Yeah.
So we do have our first lineups coming in here in a second. Looks like they're still getting ready yet, though. The timer hasn't started.
Now, we're going to have... I think that's those are fake readies right there with that T92. There's no way you're bringing a T92, right? So we'll take a moment, wait for them. If I'm looking... Yeah, they haven't started the countdown
Yeah, looks like production's ready to see some tanks blow up. They want to get things on their way.
Ready to go.
We're all ready, so looks like jumped the gun a little bit early there, but we'll be ready in just a second. But overall, though, let's predictions right now. Who's your money on scoreline? Let's hear it.
So right now I'm leaning towards Dare. Part of me feels like I could give 07 a chance, but if you had a gun to my head, Dare right now, because
Okay.
I'm going to depend on consistency. Just instead of overhauling the team, you've decided to shift things up, as opposed to 07 really overhauling and making huge changes. I think that's going to give them a better start
Right.
to the season.
So
What do you think?
later in the season, maybe the second time they play, I'd definitely probably favor 07, depending on how the matches have gone before.
Maybe.
I think they have the right pieces in place, but not having a whole lot of practice before the season starts kind of set some alarm bells off in my head.
So you're leaning towards Dare as well?
I think I still have to lean towards Dare, but I think it'll be close. I think like a 5-3 probably, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at a tiebreaker for this match. I also wouldn't be surprised with actually a little back and forth and then just kind of finishing it out. I think that might be where we get it. A little back and forth on Mines. Mines makes sense for me. Defenders win 1-1. We go on to Proc. Proc is where we might see this start to break away, because then we have Cliff and Sin River after that. But I'm feeling like 1-1, 1-1, and then the winner.
Yeah, Cliff is a map that 07 struggled on last season as well. They tried running some set plays they'd seen from other regions. They didn't really pan out as well. So that may be a bit of a weak spot. And then Sand River, no one knows. However, these are the real lineups. We are ready to get underway on to Mines. 2 Mice, an E5, a 5A, 2 Batchets, and Milo Putin's going to play the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Meanwhile, 07 coming in here with 2 Mice, a 5A, a Batchat, 2 E4s, and Fosta going to pick up that T100. So we will see the Russian imports, as you will, for the first time this season. We'll have to see how they perform. Dark Ninja stepping into the lineup for Dare for the first time as well.
All right, this will be good to watch for. This is what we want. Lineups like this, but the mouse on Mines is going to be going probably the center somewhere, right?
I would expect just below the hill for the defending team, and as the attacking side, either onto the 2-cap or to guard the hill entrance.
Yep. And then we'll see what the scouts are going to do probably on the openers here. Colosoid in that Batchat is actually heading... Okay, here's an aggressive little run he's on. He's going to be moving out towards Gulf 4.
Yep, and Milo Putin, 1, 2, 3, getting aggressive here. He's going to find the shots onto Fosta, maybe? I can't tell if he spotted him or not.
Probably not. Probably not.
He's trying. Neither of them have spotted each other, and Fosta's going to get out there to the H1 spot. So he'll have that early intel down the 1 line. But that's about all he'll really be able to get vision on.
Yeah, on the 07 side, they know there's a Batchat on the hill, and they know there's a WZ-111 5A.
Fosta needs to be careful there.
Yeah. Well, it's very easy in the T100 to accidentally flip yourself, I've noticed.
It's a very light tank. I mean, it's a light tank in many senses of the word.
Yeah, the power-to-weight ratio is such that you can kind of fling yourself up on stuff, and it's nice for getting over certain cover, because there's rocks and little mounds that normally you wouldn't be able to just kind of go over, that the T100 can.
But you can also get yourself into trouble with that very thing.
Exactly, and I have gotten myself into trouble a little bit.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, you're right. Anyone who's played the T100 knows what I'm talking about.
Anyone that's played any light tank with the new physics in the last year has gotten themselves into trouble at one point, guaranteed.
Fair enough. All right, Fosta's going to get into a passive position. A little risky, but out in the open. See him hiding in a bush. And he's going to knock a trio. That's dangerous, actually. He'll hide, And this will probably be where he hides for the next few minutes. In the meantime, what is Dare doing, Rox? What is Dare going for?
They're just feeling out their opponent right now. They've kind of spread out a little bit. They're trying to get some intel without bleeding too much HP. That's why they have Putin just sitting here on the one line. They have the Bat Chat on the hill, and a great shot there. And a decent roll, 2 out of 1, 2, 3. 385, not bad at all.
And that's what you're looking for. A little blind fire going to cover onto 1, 2, 3's position. And this is going to slow down for a minute. So let's take a moment and kind of explore some of this lineup. Oh, actually, no. Here's something to look for. Look at where Aggressor's going. Out into the northeast. He's going to be heading into a position that we usually don't expect a mouse to be in, which is more towards the middle, somewhere where his speed isn't going to kind of get in the way as much. Because Aggressor, where he is, if there were, for example, a push in the middle of the map right now, he would actually not be able to join his team in support for quite some time.
Yeah,
and that's why
he hasn't been spotted yet. So now the thing is, they don't really have to worry about that too much out of 07 because this strat isn't set up to make one of those flexes. It's not set up to capitalize on a tank being out of position. It's set up to hold the angles they want to hold. And right now, he's not in an area where they're too overly concerned with. If he keeps driving forward, though, that may be a different story.
That could be what he's going for. A bit of a distraction. Maybe kind of throw something out there so your opponent will...
Nationwide just being abused right now. He's down to 455. Bounces 1. The mouse armor still holding up there.
He really needs to survive as long as he can in this position. And I'm seeing how we can expect Aggressor's push to actually turn into something, because right now everyone's distracted looking at Nationwide. Those shots fired are shots not being fired or attention not being put towards Aggressor. Aggressor lining up a shot in Arclet. 584.
Yep, he's going to start bullying this side. They're going to try to start breaking this defense from multiple different angles. However, Harmless does get taken down by Fosta. So Tank Destroyers, E4, getting their shots in there, doing what they're supposed to, knocking down that Bat Chat as Andy Pants does finally find the kill onto Nationwide.
There we go. At the same time, looks like the 1, 2, 3 light tank from Dare is up in the hills. We'll see what he gets to in a few minutes. But right now, Aggressor's finally made his way right into the faces of 07. 07 relatively healthy right now, but they are up a gun, and we'll see what they end up doing there. Rocks.
Yep, and Ninja's sitting here behind the rock. This E4 trying to find a shot onto him. And now he has to back off though, because 1, 2, 3 has the opening angles.
Yeah, not quite though, just not quite. And it's dangerous for him to try and make that engagement, but right now it looks like there's going to be a Colosoid and Arclet moving on Aggressor right now. They recognize he is not super well supported, and he should be a target they can take down. Look at that, he is down to 512. 2 more solid penetrations should take care of him. 1 more, that's it. 3 tanks down for Dare, no tanks down for 07 in battle number 1.
And this defense, well, I'm not a big fan of passive defenses. 07 sticking to their guns here, making Dare pay, and just capitalizing on every little mistake as Dark Ninja does finally go down to Warbandor in that mouse.
Yep. The remaining tanks for the side of Dare are on the hill. Well, a hill, somewhere. There are 2 hills that they're upon. Bird and his little battle buddy, where is he? Ah, Durgel. 2 of them are on top of the middle hill. 1, 2, 3 still up top where we left him a while ago. And this is a matter of time, Rox. There's usually not much left to do.
No, at this point, it's just Dare figuring out what went wrong and what they're going to do on the next round. You have to think, because there's not a whole lot of options that 3 tanks can do against 7 relatively healthy tanks, with Arclet being the least healthy. It's still over 1,000 HP, so
yeah.
No, nice shot there onto Warbandor, so chipping away a little bit. I mean, still trying to get some damage off, farm those fantasy points.
I'm looking at a thin shot from FC Dynamo, looking towards Bird, the side of that Empire State hatch that you can see. Oh, right over the top.
Right over the top. Not quite yet.
It's a very thin shot. It's very hard to make from this distance.
Yeah, but that's why you put a tank like the E4 there, because if you do land that shot at 750 alpha just straight into the side of that turret, that is going to hurt.
Absolutely. Now, the defense of the hill, the last hold of Dare for 4 minutes against 7 tanks. Now, if you were to entertain winning with 3 tanks here, Rox, you'd be looking at a Team 125 and a 5A, somehow taking down tanks around 1K, 2K hit points.
It would need a misplay by 07 for there to be any option. They'd have to find some sort of overmatch.
Who's the closest to the entrance to the hill on the side of 07 there?
right there, it's going to be their bat chats, and that's going to be Colsoid, Fosta. Well, Fosta's about over on the one line, but it looks like it's going to be Colsoid and their mice of Andy Pans and Warbander.
And look at this. This is actually excellent play from 1, 2, 3.
And a fire is going to claim Mango's.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, you know, I said that would be take some misplay out of 07, but also some luck on the side of Dare couldn't hurt.
Hey, that's maybe even a little more than luck. That was quite well played. He timed everything correctly. He waited for his shots to 0. He fired and immediately backed off. He didn't wait to see if it was going to connect.
Yep. Now the one thing this Panzerwagen,
he's covering. He's got great cover on the entrance to the hill.
Yep. Now this Panzerwagen, what it does have is it has great gun depression, so it can play those ridges like this climb right here, something that the T100 will struggle to do. And they're going to leave the hill, and they're going to try to go get on cap. So they're going to try to get 2 tanks on cap. Snaps the shot off at Arclet, doesn't get the connection, and they're going to try to use 1, 2, 3 up on the hill to cover, or up on the climb on the 0 line to cover the hill. However, Durgelt takes a shot for his troubles. He's trying to close to the other side, and I have a feeling he's about to get hit by an E4 here in just a second.
Oh, right in the engine deck as well. That's not going to be fun. Just turn around, Durgelt. Just turn it around. Oh, and the shot will miss from an E4.
Yep, so looking for the shot, wasn't able to quite find it. They will start the cap pressure. Now, they do have technically enough time to cap. With 1 on right now, minute 35. He's going to go ahead and back off to not take the damage.
Won't matter much, as he will take the damage anyway and lose all of his cap points. It prevents defense points, I guess you could say.
And the Bat Chats took the hill, and we're ready for 1, 2, 3 to poke up there. They put some shells into him, putting him down to a 1-shot, and the mice are going to push into cap. Colsoid's going to come in from the back. Warbander's going to pick up the kill onto Bird. And Colsoid should be able to clean up this 5A here in the Bat Chat. Bounces 1. Penetrating shot coming in from behind, and Andy Pans picks up the kill. And it's going to be down, all down to 1, 2, 3, up on the hill in this Panzerwagen, trying to find a shot on the Fosta. And Colsoid trades it out, picks it up, and that's going to be 1-0 in favor of 7.
Not bad.
Remember what I said, though. 07, their strength, set plays. Yep. In this case, passive defense, all the angles held, well rehearsed, knew exactly who had to cover who, and Dare just weren't able to find any sort of isolations, try to get some free damage. They couldn't really gain anything map positionally that was to their benefit, and 07 doing what they needed to do there, and looking at the damage there, Colsoid going up big.
Absolutely. I think one of the major things to pay attention to was probably those mice nationwide. Going down, taking so much damage early in the game, that's not what you needed to happen on Dare's side. Dare needed him alive and healthy for their initial push. And when Aggressor went in, Aggressor was making a move that felt individually quite strong as far as posturing goes, a quite strong play. Just wasn't enough to really keep his battle buddy alive. And without that mouse, without that huge chunk of armor and hit points, there was a lot of advantage lost.
Yep, and Colsoid showing up big in his first game in North America, doing 81 fantasy points. Arclet coming up strong, even though he just got back from vacation. And 1, 2, 3 doing what he's always done, which is put up good, consistent damage. Now, also you have to remember, well, he's playing the Panzerwagen. Well, it picks up the speed. It does have pretty good gun depression. It does not exactly have the highest alpha or the best penetration, so it could be difficult for him to put up some of the numbers that we're used to seeing him play if he's playing that Panzerwagen.
But remember the tier 10 increase. Now that we're up to 770, you're going to see a slight increase in damage as we across the
larger HP pools.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep,
definitely. And you know, looking at it overall, you have to wonder what 07 are going to be able to do on offense, though, because that was a set play that worked very well on defense, but now they have to find a way to attack, and Dare have always been a relatively strong team on defense as well. They've had some Mines defenses that have been very strong in the past, especially during the North American Finals. Yep. They had a few games on defense where they looked very, very strong on Mines.
Yeah, and, well, altogether, like, defense on the side of Mines is the way to go. It's a strong position. The strategy hasn't changed much in the past 4 years, I think is about. So really it's the attacker
the map hasn't been changed too much outside of some little boosts. And looking at the lineups, you see what I've seen. PZ7 coming out here from Bird.
What?
I like the tank overall. I'm kind of curious to how they're going to implement it here. It is a tank that armor profile is rather tricky. Good frontal armor. Turret's very strong. It's underneath the turret on the sides where you want to hit it in the turret ring. That can be kind of soft. 2 mice.
Rear-mounted turret's also fun.
Rear-mounted turret can be
It's
beneficial, so we'll have to keep an eye on him, see what he does with it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 07 coming in here with a mouse, 2 5As, 2 E4s, and 2 bat chats, and it looks like they're going to open up with a pretty strong play towards both the hill and the one line, try to get some intel. Well, the rest of them looks like they're just going to sit in base and try to maybe get some damage on the hill. Now they're going to go towards the hill, so we'll have to see if they maybe try to open up on anyone peeking out, but they're not going to find it because Dare are just chilling passive right now. They have a light tank out on that one line, just like we saw out of Fosta. That's going to be Dark Ninja, though, and FC Dynamo opposite of him in the bat chat.
So what's the play right now for 07? What are they? They're just going to slow play this one, get the heavies up into position, and try and wiggle their way in?
It's basically what they have to do. I mean, good damage there from FC Dynamo, and maybe Warbandr will sneak a shot in. He tried, missed. Oh, it was FC Dynamo trying to follow-up shot onto Harmless.
Ooh, he takes 324 though, so a little damage traded on the west side of the map. Not a huge difference though, and look at that crossfire. Nice shell from Colosoid up on the hill. Might be able to get a second connection if he's careful enough.
Yep, now that PZ7 does have a pretty decent gun on it. It has that 590 alpha damage gun, just like the Jag Tiger. So it does hit kind of hard, fairly accurate, good penetration. Not the highest DPM, but it does decent. So the combination of being a very defensive tank and that gun may be the reason why they brought it and can sit it behind a rock. Also, very high profile. If you look at the position he's playing,
that's what I was thinking as well.
Being able to shoot over the rock and just use his turret, also a benefit there.
Yep, that's what you're going to be looking for, because the height of a tank is very important at tier 10. Now that we have that choice, you're probably going to choose some tanks based on the position you're expecting them to go to. And, well, if it's cover that isn't very tall, you might choose a mouse or the PZ7 and try and sneak that up there. Now, we're following Colosoid on the far side. What do you think? Is he going to try and go for a jump, or is he just maybe scouting a little?
I think he's just trying to get some intel. If he was going to go for that boost right then, he would have kept his momentum up when he hit it. Now, it doesn't mean that he won't back off and re-pick up speed and go, but I don't think he can make it from here from a standstill. So I think he's just trying to get some intel. He's going to creep forward a little bit, move up to another bush, see if he can get some eyes on these tanks.
Perhaps, but he's not going to find much, because if you look at the mini-map, you'll notice that tanks from the side of Dare aren't very aggressively positioned. And with that, well, it's going to be 07 not quite getting all that close to their opponent. Look at where the T110 E4
one of the slowest flexes in history. E4 is pushing down the one line right now, almost as slow as the mouse push we saw famously out of Tornado Energy during the Grand Finals.
Right across the open water?
Yep.
Literally some of the slowest terrain in the game that they could possibly cross.
I think that has to be up there with Wallhack's T95 push last season.
I was going to say that next. Just about as slow.
And Dark Ninja gets caught out.
443. He decides, well, that might not have been the smartest thing to do. But looking at his POV, he only spotted one tank.
But he took damage from multiple, so he should know that there are more there, even if he didn't spot them.
Yeah, and we should be seeing a little bit of a shift right now, but there's not much to shift from Dare. Those E4s can't move too much. The PZ7 won't need to move too much. And the mouse all the way over there in the
Now,
east.
remember what I said about set plays?
Yeah.
This is one of them coming out here right now. The mouse, very, very big tank, and look at what's behind him. A tank that is not very, very big, the 5A, a very low-profile tank. So what can you not do without artillery? Find an easy reset on that 5A, and they're positioning themselves just ever so perfectly, so he's blocking him. Meanwhile, the E4 takes a shot for Dare.
They weren't spotted until literally right now, just right then. The mouse and the 5A got on cap without being spotted.
Yep, and Warbandr knows he's going to die. They don't care. He's just sitting there, and oof, Bird in that PZ7 finds a great shot there onto the side armor of Arclit, trying to reposition here, and they're just going to make Warbandr go to a little even more extreme angle. But I don't think they counted on that PZ7, and here comes a reset out of Dark Ninja in that T100.
Yeah, he's got a great alternate angle right now. It's going to be very difficult for Arclit to find a safe place to hide. And then think about the bat chat as well. 2 tanks out on the west side that are going to be able to put a crossfire on. 07's going to have to decide to really commit and create a little bit more havoc with this. Like, they need to actually have the more violence of aggression. They need to get in there, put more tanks in the way of this cap, and make something happen. Because look at the mini-map right now. I'm looking at the perspective of Dare. They see 2 tanks. They see a mouse, they see a 5A. Those are the 2 tanks on cap. That's what they're focusing on. They're not shooting at other stuff right now.
Here's the problem, is to make a set play like this work, you have to have certain conditions that are met for sure. And one of those needs to be that Arclight doesn't get reset. You can give up Warbandr for free in this sort of strat. You could say, I don't care if you die, I just need your body there so we can use it as cover. But the problem is that Arclight, no matter where Warbandr sits, has been reset time after time after time. He's down to 516, so even with Warbandr dead now, I don't know that they're going to be able to get the cap pressure they need over the next 4 minutes to make this strat work.
I don't think this works at all in the end, because there's no real presence from 07 on the map. Like, there's a bat chat all the way in Alpha 5 right now. There's a WZ all the way over in Charlie 4. You need someone to watch your back, but there's almost no presence felt.
And the reset comes in, and now the cap's reset again, and there's 4 minutes left in the round.
Yeah, and that's going to be the Mouses going up into the high ground above the cap. They're going to even have better positions to support now. And that's my only real complaint about this 07 strat, is I don't think it has quite enough aggression elsewhere to split the defenders' attention. The defenders are good enough that they're going to be able to defend against this. They're going to find the resets they want to.
Yep, and this is just overall great play out of, or great tank choice out of Bird. Just that PZ7 is so hard to hit. Andypans has been rifling off shots for the last several minutes at him. But that PZ7, because it's so tall, its turret just backs behind the rock. He has all the reset shots he wants, and he's taking almost no damage for it. So, you know, this is just one of those things where it's just doing your homework, knowing what angles, and T100 gets another reset there. Great stuff from Dark Ninja.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want. Dare's handling this very, very well. 07 could do with some slight alterations or changes to the strategy. I see what they're going for, though. This is something that can work later. Andypan's going down. That's harmless in the bat chat. And there we go. Arclight's down. That's going to be 4 tanks alive for 07 to the full roster of Dare. So nicely played. Very nicely played from Dare.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was just Dare showed they did their homework. They brought the right tanks to play the strat the way they wanted. They understood this is what some teams will do. This is how we counter it. They very clearly understood all the reset angles. Maybe a little bit of that is 07 maybe not being as prepared as they thought they were. Maybe they haven't scrimmed a lot yet, so they haven't seen teams try to counter that strat. And overall, it was great stuff from Dare to hold on here and tie it up 1-1. Which should be in just a minute anyways.
Yeah, it should be. Assuming there's no catastrophic failures or something. But, ooh, Mako's down 1306.
Thick mouse armor bouncing shot after shot.
That's what it does. There we go. Makos is down. Now Fosta, FC Dynamo will finish it off. Fosta's been holding his position up in the north. Yeah, this is one of the ones where I was a little bit skeptical. There's a weak point when you're attacking the western cap where you need to defend your northern side. But the risk is, of course, if you defend your northern side with enough tanks, you're taking in too many away from your front.
You're giving an overmatch in the south for them to pick on. And that's something that's so strong about that Dare setup, is there is no reason for them to have to push north. There is absolutely no reason for them to deflex if they can defend everything from right there. So that's why they didn't overextend, and that's why they have a slow lineup, because they know they can just sit there and hold it. If you can guarantee that you can get those resets and that you know for sure they cannot cap, then you can just sit there. There's no reason for you to move. You don't have to. So you don't need to take the north.
Yeah. Now, of course, you're not going to waste time if you're a good team. You're going to understand where you can capitalize upon those little advantages you have. And that's going to separate you from the teams that are still trying to make their way to gold. But the whole point of that is just, look, if you see your advantages, you understand what that results in, yeah, you can sit back and defend. In this case, of course, Dare eventually saw that 07 didn't have much of a presence at all on the higher ground and just kind of took it. It was there for them to take.
It was there for them to take safely. They knew they had killed tanks at that point. They knew they were up HP, so why not take the hill for a little bit of positional advantage? And then the north here was more just to get the kills than actually needing to take the north as defensive side.
Yep. And now, looking at the
post-battle Ninja.
Stats. Yeah.
Look at all that damage he put up.
That is a strong position he was in. And don't underestimate the T100, because it is a tier 10 light. There have been tier 7 and 6 light tanks that would have been able to put up that damage a while back. But of course, it's that much harder now. And he just shows that, yeah, in the right hands, this tank is dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. And the PZ7 there coming in there with a strong 2,800 damage as well. Managed to get a few resets, so 76 fantasy points is very respectable. And one other thing to note, we didn't mention earlier, T100 did get a slight buff in the last patch, did get some extra ammo capacity. So that was a problem that some people were running into, was not enough shells. It's only carried, I believe, 32 or 36. So
that's all I needed.
So it got bumped up. Well, when you're sitting there in a position like Dark Ninja, where you need to rifle off shot after shot, sometimes that's not enough. And so it did receive a few extra shells in the ready rack, ready to go.
It's always worth it. Also, just so you know, as long as you have one shell in your ammo rack, you can be ammo rack during a match.
Yep, we've talked about that before. There's been strats with CDCs, for example, where they used them as moving cover in the past. And one team had it blow up on them when they were trying to get it in position. And so what they did next time was they brought no ammo in the CDC. So he pushed in there and he didn't get ammo racked, but guess what? They ended up not going for the cap. A brawl broke out, and all of a sudden the CDC was still alive with, couldn't do anything. So he was trying to like ram people and get in the way, but if you don't bring any ammo, you can't shoot.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a problem.
It's always the hilarious part, but it's something to watch out for. Not so much anymore. You're probably going to bring ammo all the time, but we'll miss those good old days as we head in to Prokhorovka. Now, with Prok, looking at these lineups, we've got 3 5As, 3 Batchats, and a T100 LT for the side of Dare. For 07, they're going to have those 2 IS-7s, 3 Batchats, and 2 Sturv Bs.
Sturvs, once again, I keep harping on it because 07, but set plays. What do Sturvs tell me? That they're not planning on being very flexible. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing because those 2 Sturvs have the highest DPM in the game, laser accurate, high camo. Definitely a strong tank in the right position. However, it is 07 on defense, so they don't necessarily need to move a whole lot. However, this map, unlike Mines, you can't defend both caps from one place. Well, you can, but it's in the open, and you're bound to get picked off and bleed a lot of damage, and it's not going to go well for you if you try it.
Yeah, you can and you can't. Because if you can, it's going to hurt. If you can't, well, you're probably actually in stronger positions.
And we may actually see a brawl breakout here as the 3 Batchats for 07 going towards the hill are going to be met by the 3 Batchats of Dare Rising. And Fox is going to get caught out. He's going to start taking damage. Harmless is going to take some trades as well. Shots going back and forth right now. A few shots even going into the dirt. Mile Putin being focused out. Down to 683. Kolstoid getting a few shots in there as well. And this is not going good for Dare Rising. Damage is just coming out here. Even the Sturv's getting into the fight from the back there, and
Dark Ninja and 123 are down. That hurts a lot. That's devastating for Dare.
The proverbial door was just slammed in the face of Dare.
Yeah.
07 said, you want to take the left side? You want to take the 0 line?
Come and take the 0 line.
That's
Come
too
and take
bad.
the 0 line. I dare you.
I dare you.
Yeah, it was a gimme. And there we go. High ground for 3 Batchats. This is beautiful. If you're 07, you're loving this position right now. Dynamo.
Durzo being farmed, taking shot after shot.
And there we go. That's going to be devastating. Absolutely. I would not want to hear what their comms are right now. They're probably a mess. 07's probably just sitting there laughing. There we go. Aggressor taking a hit. 569, leaving him at a sliver of health, 20. And I'm actually wondering why 07 isn't getting more aggressive. It's like I would want to see them actually pushing forward, but I guess if you don't want to. There we go. FC Dynamo's got a kill shot. And then on top, we've got Dynamo and Fosta. Aggressor looks like he's going to be backing off, and, well, where's Aggressor going? Aggressor's running away, Rox. He's all the way in.
There are not really any options at this point. 07's just going to get chased down. And to be fair, 07 don't really even need to chase at this point. Aggressor's down to pennies, essentially, 20 HP. Bird's going to start taking some damage in the 5A.
He's in the low ground. The Sturvs are on the move. They're coming on in. They're getting ready to get some kills.
A great shot there from Arclet in the IS-7 to take down Aggressor.
All Colosoid style points. Jumping down a hill.
And Dynamo trying to go for the Goomba. And he gets the shot on the jump. And Fosta takes out Dynamo. Not sure if that was friendly banter or not, but either way, the result's still the same. 07 pick up a round, and 07 looking very strong right now.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like it. I liked the defense. It was a solid brawl on their side. I really thought Dare was going to come out ahead in the initial fight, but once the Sturves got set up, I think that was what probably changed it.
Yeah, the Sturves got the shots in, and the Batchats were just landing more shots. The way that terrain worked out, it just was kind of hard for the tanks of Dare to land those shots on the Batchats. I saw several shots go into the dirt, and then when they tried to run, just a shooting gallery, and then these 5As left here in the low ground, not a whole lot they could do, and just overall not a great round. Kolsoid, though, he is putting up some serious points tonight. If you picked him up on your fantasy team, you were having one heck of a night, and looking down from there, Warbander did decent. FC Dynamo, respectable, 91 points, 2 kills on top of the 2,500 damage. Harmless and Aggressor in the Batchats, both getting off a little under 1 clip.
And Dark Ninja, bless his heart, got completely evaporated early on. Didn't stand a chance. Poor guy.
Yep.
It's like he puts up insane damage the previous battle, but then unfortunately one unfortunate run, and you're just gonna blow up. Only 2 points for him.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. So just unfortunate, but sometimes that's just how the dice fall.
Yeah, that's how it goes. And now we're going to switch sides. It's going to be 07's chance to attack and Dare's chance to defend. We'll have to see how their lineups, their opening moves will result in, if it'll result in the same thing. More likely what will happen is what we usually get on Proc, which is where both teams decide on slightly
slower, more calculated play, not pushing blindly into an area where you don't guaranteed to have the overmatch.
Yeah, also it seems like with a 50-50 shot of choosing an all-in that meets face-to-face, they just actually usually just choose the opposite sides and happen to miss each other. More often than not, they just don't run into each other in the opening.
Yep. Dare Rising, 2 5As, 2 Batchats, 2 103Bs, and a T100 light tank once again played by Dark Ninja. Meanwhile, 07 and IS7, a 5A, 3 Batchats, and 2 103Bs of their own. So not opting to bring a light tank, instead just bringing another Batchat. So other than that, very similar lineup out of both teams.
Yeah, not bad.
IS7 arguably interchangeable with the WZ after last patch, same alpha. IS7 on the last patch got an extra horsepower buff, a little bit of a gun dispersion buff, and an extra couple hundred HP, so tank got a little bit of love, and it seems to be pretty decent now. Tank that kind of got faded out for a while. Its strong point used to just be hold downs. Now it can be a little bit more flexible and interchangeable with the Chinese heavy tanks, which have pretty much dominated since the mouse has started to lose favor.
Yeah, speed's important, and every once in a while, everyone remembers why it's so important, and then starts playing aggressive strats and bringing a lot of those Russian and Chinese heavy tanks, because you just use them to break on through the other side. That's what you do. FC Dynamo taking a hit for 380. What was that?
I think that was the Batchat over on C2 for Dare. Was set up there with an early shot.
Nicely done. Look at this. We're going to have the IS7 5A versus 2 5As in the middle. It's going to be a very tricky fight, but altogether we're going to see heavies just kind of throw stones at each other over a fence. They're just going to be angry neighbors for a while, doing very passive-aggressive little things to each other just to mess with the other guy.
Leaving angry notes for one another.
Yeah, you know, reporting them to the homeowners association.
Having their grass too long.
Yeah, every time. And those tacky flamingos.
Somehow I don't see anyone from 07 having a tacky flamingo on their front lawn.
You're telling me that Meadowhawk doesn't have a tacky flamingo with a Canadian flag on it?
I can't put money on that, so maybe you're right. Meanwhile, Bird looking for some shots here, and pretty much status quo from both teams, just trying to feel each other out. Batchat's flexing around in the backfield, trying to get some intel. Trying to be a little bit more calculated with their play this time. Last game, they both kind of blindly pushed. Didn't happen to blindly push into each other, and it was just 07 that managed to come out on top. This time, both teams realizing they don't want to take that gamble. Let's slow it down and make sure no one goes down for free.
Absolutely, that's what you're going for. Now, I want to jump to a slightly different subject on the map right now, and that's Dark Ninja hiding on the 1 line right now. You see 2 Batchats in the very, very far south. We'll zoom in so you can look at them. That's them, way, way over there. It's very far away, you see, because we're here. Dark Ninja's going to be waiting to see if Batchats push up. Behind him, he's got a little cover. And so this is where I think the next major move is going to happen, don't you, Rox?
Yep, and notice the position of Dark Ninja's tank. He's actually already facing the other way, so he's ready to just turn and run. Something that you see a lot of scouts make that mistakes, whether it's in pub matches or clan wars or whatnot, where they get into a bush and leave the front of their tank facing their opponent, and it's just common reflex. Your frontal armor is your best armor.
But in a light tank, guys, once you get to tier 10, light tank drivers, you should know your armor is worthless. It's all about a random track shot.
Yep, you don't want to have to start your retreat by driving forward to turn around or going in reverse, which, despite the common myth, even in French tanks is not that fast.
Here it is. There it is. There's the push. And spotting will happen. Shots going out. Colosoid, Andypan's taking damage. Andypan's down to half hit points now. And Dark Ninja is not spotted. Dark Ninja is going to move at about 100 meters so that he can keep some distance between him and his opponent as he fires and leaves, takes one shell, and is out. That is a well-executed scout run. Good job, buddy. Now, what is 07 going to do? They're going to die. This is a bucket where you die. That encapsulates the point.
Yeah, no, yeah. They're left with not a whole lot of too many options at this point. Sturb up on the high ground at G1 trying to cover and help them with those heavy tanks, but they've pretty much boxed themselves into this one line, and they haven't completed the push. They had to stall out between Andy's getting set on fire and the Batchets taking damage, and they haven't even found Durgel or Harmless yet, so they can't even sit here and know they have the one line for free because they're just going to get bled.
Correction, they have found Durgel. And they have found Harmless.
And now they have to try to kill him while he's sitting near and shooting at Fosta, which...
Valid point.
Which is not going to be easy to do in that Sturv. So here's the tricky thing about the current meta. With the...
but look at this. 103 versus 103. And defense, sitting a little back in support position, might be able to take down Durgel. This could work.
Whichever one switches to HE first, then you switch to HE, get the kill.
No, they actually just need to hit each other. And now they're not spotting each other, so it's blind fire all day.
Well, the one thing I was going to say is with the Batchats here against the Sturf, what part of the problem is more recently with the mouse meta, for example, more Batchats have had to start bringing more heat shells to try to deal with the German armor. So when you bring more heat shells, what do heat shells not like? Spaced armor. What does the Sturf have?
Spaced armor!
It's not even just like spaced armor, but it is a literal heat shield on front. The Swedes went, yeah, I made the mistake.
You made the mistake.
Yep, only took me 6 months longer than you. Anyways.
Go on.
It is a shield on the front there. You can actually see it with the wiring across the front. It is made to block those heat shells. The heat shells, they detonate when they contact armor. And so when they hit this sort of fence right here, they detonate before they actually hit the actual armor of the tank. And that in turn makes the Sturv frontally a very imposing tank. Now APCR shells will have an easier time getting through that and hitting the weak spots. But if those Batchats for some reason had heat shells left, or they'd only brought heat because they're so used to the mouse meta, which could have happened.
Reasonable.
Unlikely, but could have happened.
Yeah.
That would make it a lot harder to kill. And they did manage to get Durgel down, but it was at the cost of Fosta and about 7,000 HP, which now leaves them in a very tight situation with only 4 minutes left.
4 minutes left, no major control of either cap point. Dare holds on strong with 10,000 hit points. That's double the amount of 07. Never mind, sorry, more than double the amount of 07. Yeah, there's every reason Dare should be able to even this one up, and we'll have a back and forth for our first two matches, which is good. This is what I've expected out of Dare and 07. Good, solid play. Mistakes is a hard word to place on a lot of this. This is hard choices and strong defenses on a lot of sides. I think we give credit to Dare in the defense and also for the previous battle 07, as opposed to really harping on the choices of our attackers. There's a lot to say about that, but you have to decide on a strat, right? And in this playstyle, in this game mode, Rox, like, do you really have many opportunities to make incredibly flexible strategies? You really don't.
It depends on the lineup. Some of it comes down to your player skill, if you can make certain strats pay off. That's why we see some really creative stuff out of Elevate, because they have such a high amount of skill on that team. Now, not to discredit the other teams, but sometimes you need exceptional players to play exceptional positions and make some of these things really work.
It's that little difference player versus player where one guy's taking damage and the other isn't. That's what it is. It's your guy's peeking and dealing damage to him, or is he peeking and taking damage from the other guy. If he's not taking damage, fantastic. That's great. Let him do what he wants all day. You're right. And those specialty positions are where that's at.
And I really like this out of Dare here, is after they got those initial picks, they, outside of Durgel, they left the 1-2-3 line side of the map. They said, this is not worth fighting for at this point. We've already bled them a ton of HP, and we've bled down the clock. So they know they only have, 3 or 4 minutes left, and so they've all backed off. They've gotten into a more defensive posture where they can cover each other. They've said, look, you guys can go get on cap, or you can try to come fight us, but either way, we're going to cover each other and not give you that opportunity to get into the match.
Absolutely. Now, as it'll slow down. 2 minutes 20 left. Usually this is a point at which 07 will make a strong push, as we can see now with Arclet going up middle, right towards the cap. He should pay a little bit just to take this position, but if Dare isn't feeling super aggressive, they might just let him hop on cap before they decide.
Andy Pans gets spotted, goes down to Aggressor.
Nice shot from Aggressor. We can always depend on him to sink a shot. And Harmless will be watching the north side. Arclet's going to be crucial to actually get any vision for 07 to use. We'll have to see where are they going. Okay, I see at Bat Chat, you see Colosoid moving up north. He'll try and get Crossfire, sneak a few shells in here or there. If he gets spotted, he'll go down though. He needs to stay hidden.
Yep, so at this point, Dare only really need one reset to make 07's life hard, and they're in positions well enough to do it. They actually haven't even spotted the Bat Chat of Harmless behind that rock over there.
That's good.
So he can very easily get the resets. And he's on full HP, so there's no way that 07 could even focus him out before he could even fire.
That's what you're looking for. And then Aggressor's position is perfect. He's going to be able to put fire on anybody he wants. Well, anybody who gets spotted. And how long do you think Dare's going to wait? They're probably going to wait until after the minute crosses before they put those cap point resets on.
Yeah, they got plenty of time. They're going to burn the clock down all the way, because what they don't want to happen is have this fight happen too early, give up a free tank, and leave an opening for 07 to get into that fight. They're going to bleed out the clock and make sure that it's towards the end of the round when there's no time for them to try to brawl it and get all the kills.
There's your reset right there. Nice job from the 5As. Peek on over.
And now they can't cap with 40 seconds left, and now 07's only option is try to go for all the kills. And while it's highly unlikely, they made sure to do everything textbook, bleed the clock down, so now there's no way, even if worse comes to worse, they could chase down every single tank.
Absolutely there. You see IS-7 trying to make it, not quite this time. And only remaining is, well, Colosoid. He's also going to go down. So there we go, evening this one up. Dare puts their own point on the board on defense. No one's won on attack yet. No one has won on attack.
Which makes sense with 07 being one of those teams, like I said, set plays. So once again, this comes down to a set play on offense that just didn't pan out. It was very slow, calculated, set up across the whole map. All right, we're going to put the Sturv with the Bat Chats behind. We're going to try to cover them and just make that decisive push. And that's, once again, one of those things that Arclet and 07 have become known for is, well, it's kind of predictable. It's bringing the right tanks, the right players, putting them in the right spots to cover each other. And if you do it well enough with enough synergy, you can make those set plays work. And so far, we've already seen them work tonight a couple of times. This time was not, unfortunately, one of those. Yeah.
Well, it'll happen. Let's take a look a little at kind of what happened in that match and break it down for you one more time. So opening up, we had T100 LT as the spotter. 07 goes for a bold push. This is out in the open. There's no real pre-spotting. You just have to risk it. The cost was very, very high for 07. They didn't get the spotting they needed until right at the end when they finally got a kill on Dersh. Opens up the northwest, where then 07 can begin aggressing on the cap. By that point, though, they've spent way too many hit points. They don't have enough left to work with, and Dare knows how to hold, and they do.
Yep, and looking at the fantasy points here, Durzel doing a good job putting up 90 fantasy points nationwide. There's 72, Harmless 73. Overall, good damage, all in the 2 to 3K range. Warbander, top damage dealer for 07, only getting 37 fantasy points, though. 37 fantasy points. Colosoid coming in there, another 30 fantasy points himself, 1,600 damage. Nothing too spectacular this game out of any of them, but Dark Ninja in that light tank putting up another 100 fantasy points, getting all those spots, because there's all spotting damage during that initial push.
Yeah.
So spotting becoming a little bit more relevant in Fantasy League.
I'm down for that. Spotting is very, very important, and it's often underestimated.
Yep, and assistance damage anyways.
Yeah.
So, something that some other stats don't necessarily look at too well because of how the game program's written. They can't always, see all the spotting damage. It's hard to separate tracking from spotting damage, and so sometimes it kind of gets all jumbled together.
Yeah, that's one of the things. For a little while, actually, I believe damage blocked by armor, spotting, and all of that track
was mixed in there, yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, they've been separate. They've been mixed together at different points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And we're getting ready for battle number 5. I see a tank choice here, and I have to wonder. The Sheridan coming out from Milo Putin. I'm going to, let's see here. Am I near them right now?
Do you play with Sheridan? I actually...
He has the derp. He has the derp from the Sheridan. Coming in with 3 5As and 3 Bat Chats. Meanwhile, 07, a 5A, a whole lot of Bat Chats in a TVP. I'm going to jump over to Milo Putin right now. 1, 2, 3.
You're going to follow that because, okay. The Sheridan, really?
Yep.
Honestly, I wasn't... Look, okay, when the Sheridan came out, it was okay. I wasn't impressed by it when I got to play and test it. It's not that I thought it was bad, I just didn't think it had a strong place in competitive, but it's not...
But Randall.
What?
Derp.
Yeah, I know. Derp's cool.
It's hard.
Derping?
Yes.
It's
Lots
not,
of damage.
Yeah, but it's just it's a very RNG gun. Oh, nice shots. Look at that Burden aggressor with direct fire onto Makos as he tries to go up the kill. Now, here's a mistake, possibly, from Makos. He stops. And because of that, he's still in a place he's going to take fire, and he's going to go down to 344. Had he continued forward, there's the possibility, not absolute, and this is a risk, that he could have gone higher up and actually escaped outside of their range.
Sometimes the best way to get away is just forward, which in that case, he kind of panicked and started backing down. If he just kept driving, he might have gotten out of it.
It's like when you accidentally run a red light. If you hit the brakes in the middle of a intersection after running a red light, and you just stop, have you ever seen someone do that? You know how much chaos it causes? It's a mess.
It's how you cause a very bad accident.
Yeah, but then if you accidentally run a red light, and you just and you're already in there, and you're not hitting something, don't just go through. Let a cop pull you over and give you a ticket. That's what he should have done. Now Makos is, well, he scratches pain.
Yeah, just to clarify, we don't support running red lights here at the WGLNA.
Saying, like, this is like one of those, if you make a mistake when driving, or like when you're doing something that important, sometimes there are situations wherein stopping, hesitating, drastically changing your pattern of behavior will actually work against you, is what I'm saying. It's the same thing where if you get shot when you're in the open and then you just stop and look around, you've seen people do that, right? And you might have maybe a while back made the same mistake where you take fire and you decide, oh, snap, who's looking at me? And you stop. Instead, you should keep going, find a safe position, follow your steps 1, 2, 3.
Anypans and Harmless trading in the distance there as 1, 2, 3 does the climb and gets up on top of the hill. But Harmless is in a world of trouble right now. He's going to go down. He gets caught out there. Harmless making a great play. Warbander coming to support him, as is Colsoid. But this looks like it's going to be another trade. And the 1, 2, 3 gets one shot off for 350 onto that TVP.
And we're going to actually take a listen in with Dare, see what they're talking about as they make this push, and a little bit of
That's
pressure.
firing me, that's not spotted.
Just hold this. Just
No,
hold
there he
this.
is.
I'm gonna die to him.
Easy kill.
Very nice.
He shot me once.
Shot
He
one
shot
low,
me.
my bad.
Going in on him?
Going in on Warband. Yeah.
Warbender shot one.
Nice,
Warbender
sorry.
shot two. You're good.
I'm gonna
you're good.
pressure this stuff in the PvP.
I'm safe. Warbender shot three. Down. I got a shot for this TV.
Yeah, trying to get out of your shot. I got kill.
No. I get 3 on cab for fucking BM.
Dude, savage.
Okay.
And here we are with Dare just cleaning it up. You can hear the attitude of Dare. They're very upbeat, kind of joking around with each other, feeling good right now.
Yeah, especially after a win like that. Yeah, that's going to feel good. You're on the attack. Cliff is a decent defender map, and your strategy worked. Your opening moves got the damage you wanted, set your opponent off balance, took advantage. It's a good Dare play. Good play.
Just down to Arclet down here. Try and stay alive, but with 6 minutes left, it's not going to happen. And it looks like 1, 2, 3 is trying to close, maybe get a shot or a Goomba in, but Arclet's probably going to go down before that.
And where's the last shell?
Oh, but he snaps it off and misses. No derp.
Not today. 5A gets the kill.
Not today. And that is going to be Dare extending their lead to 3-2 over 07, taking the lead for the first time in the night.
Yay.
Not bad there out of Dare. I very clinical offense. I like to play around the backside, punished pretty much every mistake that 07 made, stuck some tanks in some weird places, ended up going down. They were down pretty much 3 bat chats before the end there, including Makos, who just, on that initial poke up the hill that we were talking about, just bled way too much HP. And the problem with running these passive defenses is if you're going to stay passive like that and give up ground, you better not bleed HP, because if you give the other team the opening and you let them start chipping away at your HP, they can just group up and push, which is ultimately what Dare did.
Yeah, pretty much. That sums it up. I think one of the things we're going to want to point at first is Aggressor, and I believe it was Bird. Correct me if I'm wrong. First shots into the opening scout. We loved seeing that one where it was, what was it? It was a bat chat. Makos. And this is the replay. Thank you, production. He heads on up towards the hill, and he just gets taken down too much damage. Now, let's just move past that a little bit and just look at how quickly everything went. 5 minutes and 48 seconds on the clock. I barely got to even digest what was happening, all those kills.
Yep, and Aggressor, 70 fantasy points, 3k damage just about. Meanwhile, Durgil, Bird, and Harmless all putting up pretty solid numbers. However, Bird only getting 36 fantasy points with the 2100 damage. So overall, it was just good stuff there from Dare. I like the play. I like the isolating the tanks. Once again, though, from 07, you know, what we've been talking about the set plays
and the Sheridan. Sorry, real quick, pause here. Sheridan, 1567. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Got some solid connections in there.
54 points.
Would have liked to see him poke up in the middle, maybe get a side shot on someone there, but you know, another time. Well, actually, another time is right now because it looks like we're going to see it again as we go into battle number 6 of the series.
All right. Taking a look at the tank lineups. What are we going to see on the side of Dare?
We are going to see 5 Batchats, a 140 and an STRV. Meanwhile, 07 and 5A, 4 Batchats, TVP, and a Sheridan of their own.
All right, let's jump on over to that Sheridan. Fosta taking that. It's a pretty zippy little tank. If you guys haven't gotten a chance to play it, you can notice by on screen that it's keeping up with your Batchat, so if you're worried about that, not a problem. In fact, making nice ground. I believe it has a... It performs well on different terrains, is I guess the way to put it.
Yep, it's a very zippy little tank. It's just kind of large, is the biggest downside.
Yeah, and kind of looks like a rolling brick, or it looks like a third grade edition of what a child thinks of a tank. You know, they just draw a box with a little slopey front.
What it kind of reminds me is more of a modern APC kind of.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And here we go. Sheridan's up top. Fosta looking at it nationwide. Fires. And he hits. No, he gets hit. He gets hit. Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't
Fosta
get
gets hit. Fosta fires. Fosta takes half his hit points of damage.
You need to be careful if he pokes again, because
I got excited because I heard explosions. Sorry.
And I do like this play from Dare, as passive as it is. They have the 140 peeking the hill. They have tank down at B2, which can hold that crossfire along with that Sturv of Durgil. So overall, now they're just doing the climb to get some tanks up onto the hill. Harmless and Dark Ninja just climbing up here.
Both teams are competitive hit points with each other still. No real problems here. And I think the Sheridan may need to be careful. Fosta can't take much more punishment. And he is the tank representing 07's control on the high ground. If he goes down, that is a lot of control that can go in the favor of Dare. Now, here's the thing. Dare is going to need to take the next few minutes and crawl up this hill like a bunch of ants. Oh no, Andy Pants, no! No, Andy Pants, he just, they're trying to save him. Like some kind of strange avian early life lessons. I don't know.
They got him up.
He's alive. He's alive. Okay, that could have been horrible. There we go.
Would have been an Ali the Persian Dude 2.0.
Oh. At least it wasn't an Apple Wow.
Or a wall hacks.
Yeah, that would have been work.
Meanwhile, just holding still.
You know, actually, what that did for Dare is that allowed Dare control. There's, if I'm just jumping around to a bunch of tanks right now, guys, but if you look, Colosoid's on the hill, yes, but Andy Pans and Fosta had to leave. And because of that, that was some control that 07 had lost. Now, Dare hasn't capitalized on that. That's the real kicker for that. But there was an opening.
Yeah, but tanks leaving the hill now. If they don't get spotted, they're probably going to move over towards the one line, try to open up that now that they have some tanks up on the hill.
And also because they've shown quite so many tanks in that area. It seems unbelievable that they would have Fosta leave the hill, and that they would have Andy Pans, and that they would have everyone else leave. But because of that, they might be just improvising right here.
Yep, so if you look at it here, what 07 are trying to do is, now that they have the tanks on the hill, they have shots into this back area here. If they bring these tanks around and they open up play in this area, they can kind of leave them in this awkward area in the middle and try to focus them out. The biggest problem is that there's a group here and a group here. So that is an easy overmatch if Dare can find it. The problem is that they're so passive right now and they're so spread out, I don't know if they'll be able to react in time.
Yeah, but because of that passive play, that's where this doesn't work. But should Dare begin scouting, get aggressive, get that crucial eye on a target, they're set up just so they could take the hill. So they would take on Colosoid, Antipans, and FC Dynamo up on the hill. And those tanks are what you see now on your screen. That's Dark Ninja Nationwide right there. Hidden, unseen, waiting, ready to pounce. And if they do, that's what we're waiting for. Them to just jump up, take on Colosoid, or scare him off the mountain. Maybe take down Antipans. Antipans is a rather delicious target. He's got 697 hit points, meaning 2-3 shells, maybe. Like on a bad day, 3 shells.
And here comes that push that I was just talking about, up the 1 line. They're moving in there and they're getting punished. Mako's
so that's
taking a few shots.
That means spotted.
Yep.
And that means Nationwide, Dark Ninja, and Harmless are going to start moving.
And Makos gets tracked. Is he going to go down? Is he going to get covered? He takes one more shot. It looks like he's going to just get into cover there, but that was a heavy toll to pay.
Yep, and with that, that's going to be control on top of the hill. Nationwide, Dark Ninja jump onto Colosoid, taking him down to 473. Dark Ninja chases up. Nationwide moving forward onto Antipans. A bird coming around the low side. Nicely played. That's going to put a shell in the back of FC Dynamo. Focus fire is a little tricky right now, but
140 getting shots in there, and this is what I was talking about. Easy isolations. And Dare recognized the isolation on the hill. As soon as that push came out, they took advantage of it, and tanks are just dropping left, right, and center right now for 07.
There we go. Antipans, FC Dynamo, Colosoid, all within 10 seconds are dead. Excellent execution from Dare. That's a play to watch out for. They saw the play on the other side of the map, they recognized the split, they immediately took advantage of it, and the entire unit played very well together.
I asked the question if they were going to be able to respond to that overmatch, and they just showed us right there. They were ready for it, so good job out of Dare. Did their homework, understood what they were looking at, and capitalized.
Well played. Very, very well played. That's a satisfying way for it to go, because if you were to just put that on paper, spell it out for someone, and exactly how and why each action was made, it's a very clear and easy to understand kind of a response. So newer players, take a look at this one. This is a round to watch, a round to review, as it were.
And now, after this round is over, it's going to be match point for Dare Rising, and we are going to move on to Sand River.
All right. I'm going to see Sand River for the second time tonight.
Yeah.
Very pleased with that.
Yeah, no, it's refreshing in many ways because, you know, these teams are still trying to figure out what they want to do, what works and what doesn't. As we saw, Teal Team 6 earlier figured out what doesn't work on this map. Now, versus some different teams that are in Elevate, what they were doing may have worked because other teams may have been a little bit more forgiving, but not versus Elevate. And if it's not versus Elevate, you probably don't want to run it to begin with. Even if it could work, it's probably still not the strongest of strats.
Yeah, let's put it like this. It's going to be difficult with Elevate. You know, if it wasn't... No, we're not going down the rabbit hole. I'm not going down the rabbit hole. We're not going to go into the hypothetical scenario. We're going to go ahead instead and look at some replays
Hypotheticals are fun,
of
though.
This past battle, because the replays are a little more informative for the ladies and gentlemen at home, because you guys got to see some really interesting stuff. We got to see some mountain goating. We got to see how to save an ally, and also how to flip your tank. We also saw an example by Dare, thank you so much, Dare, of how to properly respond to that west side attack, and that was take the hill, work as a squad. I cannot stress it enough.
Yep, and we actually have a timeout coming in here for 07, so I wanted to take a minute before they go on to Sand River to talk about their strats and kind of get things settled up. Aggressor, though, coming in big with the fantasy points. 106 fantasy points, 3,300 damage, 1 kill, 90% accuracy, not bad. Nationwide also 1,400 damage with 100% accuracy, so not bad. Maybe a bounce shot in there, but a bounce still counts as an accurate shot. So overall, good stuff. And FC Dynamo, top damage for his team, but you saw how easily he got bullied on the hill there by Dare.
Yeah, but I don't think he had a choice. It was a result of the team's overall choices that he was bullied so hard. I really have to give props to Dare here. I feel like 07 played a strong and comprehensible strat, but Dare was very well prepared for it. And it's just good because this is a replay that you just throw out there and you say, look, everybody watch. You'll see exactly what's going on. You'll understand immediately.
Yep, and looking at it, a couple players that have been playing pretty well tonight in 1, 2, 3 and Kolsoid not getting into the fight in those bat chats that early. Got a little bit isolated. One got focused, so weren't really able to be that effective.
He was supposed to be in a flex position to kind of back up and give ground to kind of pull the enemy in. But what ended up happening was there wasn't really enough support there, and there were too many guns to deal with.
Right.
And because of that, Kolsoid really didn't get to actually put his gun on a target, like actually aim at something. He spent the majority, I could say, of the fight trying to simply not flip his tank off a cliff. You know?
That's a little bit unfortunate.
And I guess the result is yes to what you said, but there's more details to give. Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. So countdown has begun. So we are moving into what could be our final battle. It is 4-2 in favor of Dare. Now, Sand River.
What about it?
Do you think it favors the set play type of strats that we see out of 07?
No, don't do a set play on the Sand River. With a grain of salt, take that. Which is, you need to be relatively mobile. You need to understand how to play all of the dunes, because this is a very elevation-based map, a very gun depression-based map. It's those soft stats, the ones you don't always pay attention to, that are going to kill you on this map. And that's where we're going to see if they can take advantage.
Yep, and tank lineups coming in here. Kronvog and a Mouse, 2 5As, and 3 Bat Chats coming out for Dare Rising. 07, 2 IS-7s, 2 5As, 3 Bat Chats. Nothing too surprising out of either team. Kronvagen, first time we're seeing it tonight, kind of disappeared towards the end of last season when the Mouse received the buffs that it got, especially because of the low penetration on the heat shells. Now, it does have heat, but they're around 300 penetration, so maybe not enough to consistently deal with those Mouse turrets. However, when other teams bringing IS-7s and 5As, and not Mice, definitely becomes a bit more relevant.
Yeah, of course. And now, well, opening moves. We're going to have to start with a little analysis of that. We've got Bat Chats heading south for the Scout, FC Dynamo up north, and the slow attack from 07. You're seeing those heavy tanks leave their cap from the north side. And what that's going to mean is, you see where Bird, Durgel are on your screen right now? These guys would normally peek up and be like, oh, hey, a bunch of heavy tanks are going southwest, or there are a bunch of them going coming east to us. But because of this, an opening scout run is not going to find them. FC Dynamo, Warbandr, Makos, and Arclet out from the north are going to be relatively safe and unspotted. Unfortunately, that's where 1, 2, 3 comes in, formerly known as My Little Putin.
Yep, and now this is where the trouble starts for 07. The Bat Chat of 1, 2, 3 has spotted them in the north. So now these tanks can't really do a whole lot down here.
Well, they can. They just have to decide to do it. You know what I mean? They can't hesitate.
They have to understand they're going to pay the toll and pay it.
Yeah. You need to pay it once. You don't hesitate and pay it twice. Warbandr's going out alone right now. Makos and Arclet are not with him. I'm of the opinion that all 3 maybe should consider going forward together. But I can't pretend to know exactly what's going on with
this if you look at the range, look at the minimap, you can see the range that they're firing at right now. That's just on the edge of the spotting distance. So what I think they're trying to do right now is get Warbandr close to 1, 2, 3 so they can have him consistently spotted. They can have the guns in back, punish him, and make him back off. And then when they're not being spotted, then they can start creeping forward when they're not lit and don't have to worry about us taking much damage.
A little more bounding, as it were.
Yeah.
Move one guy up, he takes position, covers, you move up while being covered by him, and then he moves up again. I
believe the phrase you're looking for is leapfrog.
Bounding, sir.
Bounding, leapfrogging.
Yeah, same.
Either way.
They're synonymous. Yes. Everyone learns 2 words now. At this point, yeah, 07 stalled out. 07 really needed a little more with this, and they're going to have to find a way through. Breakthrough points right now are, if you're very, very clever, a Bat Chat from the south could play the mid-ridge. And by the mid-ridge, I mean that's the zone around Grid Square, Golf 6. If you play that, you could, if you know your terrain well enough in your bushes, you could possibly sneak in, actually, all the way up to about Echo 0, or even Charlie 0, way in the backfield of your opponent, if you're very, very clever about it. The effect would, of course, be near suicide, but you'd really throw a wrench into Dare's perceived plan.
Yep, and now it looks like Warbandr and Arclet are getting ready to make some sort of play here in the north. Now, whether it's going to be up and across A7 or down across in the cap, either way, they're probably going to end up taking a few shots of damage, because there's no way for them to get by Durgel and Nationwide without being spotted and or being shot at. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Definitely so. Now, if you're 07, do you think this is going to work?
I think this is a decent setup for 07 if they can make it back off. And Fosta's going to pull forward right now, start spotting them, and Arclet and Warband are going to try to trade it out right here as Fosta works that ridge.
Look at that. Mako's down 875. Incredibly low hit points right now. We're going to have to decide to jump over to him after we get away from Dark Ninja. Dark Ninja's going to actually back off, move around.
Now, what I do like about this setup here real quick is these guns are hold down in this area, so they can start focusing on this group here. And the bat chats from the deep angles preventing them from rotating around here, so they're forcing the head-to-head by design, and this could work out for 07.
Very well could. All right, we're going to head back over. Watch Makos squaring off against Dark Ninja. This position, quite scary for Makos because he's down hit points, and he's at a slightly lower elevation. Very close by, though, you can see Arclet and Warbander are going to start trying to move up. Now, my question is, Batchats, what are you doing, and where are you going to start trying to be relevant? They're going to push in.
They could just dump the Kronwagen, and they're in position to push. Warbander's pushing up. He's closing, and I expect these Batchats to just go up and over and dump their clips into these heavy tanks of Dare Rising. This could go south very quickly.
Well, they're actually going north, Rox.
Yes, Randall, they are driving north.
I just wanted to make sure that you were aware that the cardinal direction was north.
This could go very poorly for 07 or Dare very, very quickly.
Gotcha. All right. So, with Makos and Cold on the backside of the hill, that's big tell. 07 now Dare now knows what's up. They can begin formulating their plan. I assume they're going to start moving their mouse into the high ground to cover. And with this, the strong defensive position of Dare is all but secured. Any major push at this point is completely no. And by that I mean Dare knows it's coming. Dare is preparing. If they're not preparing, that's their mistake.
Well, and just off camera, Dare is actually in the backfield up on the perch, so if some sort of push comes over onto these heavy tanks, there are multiple Batchats ready to punish, and we're going to see it right here. As they come up and over, Warbander gets focused out by Nationwide. Fosta comes over, finds a kill. FC Dynamo gets focused out. He's down to 102 HP. Fosta's going to push in, try to find the shot onto Nationwide. Gets it.
Fosta's going to regret that as he is taken down as well in an exchange for Nationwide. Just for being a little too aggressive. He could have held back a little bit and actually taken far less damage. I don't know if I necessarily call that a mistake. Maybe not everyone's on the same page. Don't know exactly how to explain that, but Fosta dies because he's too forward. Durgel now using Fosta as cover, realizing, well, Fosta died here, that doesn't exactly make me safer.
FC Dynamo looking for a shot onto Dark Ninja, but is not able to get the connection. Harmless is going to push up with relatively full HP, as Arclet does take down Durgel. Now, this isn't absolutely over for 07. I've seen bigger comebacks.
Yeah, this is totally possible, but this should have been more of a win for Dare.
They have the position, and something to keep an eye on is the mouse has been out of the fight for a large portion of this game.
He's been cover firing, though. He's had a perfect shot into the position where you can now see Warbander, Arclet, Colosoid. He was firing it.
Yeah, I mean out of it in terms of his HP and his armor aren't in the fight. His gun was in the fight, absolutely, but now he's just going to roll in there, and he could just bully this if he can get there in time. However, he's not going to get the first reset. It's going to have to come down to Dark Ninja or 1, 2, 3 to get a reset here with 10 seconds left. Dark Ninja's going to push in. He's going to start clipping out tanks.
And he's on fire.
He's on fire. Arclet's going to push in, trying to cover for Colsoid, but Dark Ninja just shoots over Arclet, gets the kill. And trades are going to go back and forth, and now it is a 2v2. Aggressor out of the fight. Milo Putin bounces some shots off the front of Arclet.
And now he's on reload, so he retreats.
Now, this is possible, but what it's going to need is it's going to need a solid clip out of FC Dynamo onto Aggressor to make this even remotely possible.
And he's going to have to do that without taking any damage. Point that one out because he's at 102.
And Aggressor just creeping forward here. He's not even in the fight yet.
Well, yeah, he's been driving this whole time since you brought it up.
Yeah, but we were talking about speed and its relevancy earlier and the shift away from the mouse meta, but this is showing why the mouse can be a problem. It's going to take a little while. Now, it does bring a lot of armor and a lot of HP, and this is pretty much over because Aggressor is here. And FC Dynamo gets picked up by Aggressor. And 1, 2, 3 is going to push in here and clip out Arclet. And this should seal the series 5-2 in favor of Dare Rising.
Very well played from Dare. Strong start to their season, and they managed to win with a mouse in Sand River. It's not something that hasn't been done before.